As I've been thinking about something recently, it has to do with what makes a yard look its best. Is it the grass? I don't think so. The best yards, in my opinion, have only a little bit to do with the grass itself. Let me explain. If you truly want to have the most amazing lawn on the block, you're going to want some curb appeal. For me, you can see I've got some bowling balls up here, along with some new grass coming in. You can also see that I have trees and shrubs. In this case, a productive plum tree and a productive grapevine. The best lawns also tend to have people that use them. In this case, I have small children that use my yard, so I don't want grass everywhere. I need to have pavers. I need to have patio tables. The best yards also end up having flower beds, things that are not grass. The best yards also include utilitarian spaces. For me, I've allocated a good few hundred square feet to our chicken coop. I built this chicken coop and the chicken coop run, and our chickens love it. They produce fantastic eggs and a nice ambiance. Some people don't like the sound of chickens, but we certainly do. They also have fun spaces for families to spend time in, fire pits, places for dogs. But what I really want to talk to you about today is the garden. The best lawns almost always have gardens. And if you have a spectacular lawn with no garden, then I think you're missing out in a very big way. And although I made this garden bed, I'm not really in charge of it. I'm like helper number one. That's why I wanted to ask my wife, who's really in charge of the garden, to give us a little bit of a tour. I do want to touch on all of the structural build parts, because that's really kind of just what I did, with her blessings, of course. But the garden layout and the management of the plants, really, I just take instruction from her. I know what I'm doing, but she's in charge. Hey, what are you doing?
I'm in my garden.
You're in your garden. Would you mind showing us around?
Okay.
But first here, I married this woman, and I love her. Show us the garden.
All right. Calm down. This is my garden. Got lots of various things growing. Some things that I know do well, and some things that are just experiments. And we see what grows well and what doesn't, and then we try again. Well,
what have we grown well here over the years?
Oh, so the best, as you can see behind me, this gigantic bush. Apparently, tomatillos love this area. I don't know. They love our soil or something, but these are tomatillo plants. There's like 4 or 5 of them right here. There's bee buzzing around. The bees love these little flowers. So it helps to have these plants. They come in and fertilize our, not fertilize, what's the word?
Pollinate.
They pollinate our tomatoes as well. So tomatillos is a big one. Tomatoes, we have lots of tomato plants. Got a few different varieties here with some red ones on the vine that I need to take off. I haven't been in the garden for about a week, so there's some stuff. Like over here.
What do we got over here?
I got my courgette bed.
Right.
So
that's a word I've never used on the channel before. Courgette.
Courgettes. That's zucchini for the layperson.
I am definitely a layperson.
Yeah, and they are very fruitful. And unfortunately, if you forget to do anything for a while,
here's some hanging out. Wow, look at this one.
There are some gigantic ones interspersed in here.
This one, there's some hanging out over the edge here.
Here you go.
Whoa!
I let it go a little too far.
There's one over here that's the same size.
Yeah, it's too far. You want them to be a little smaller. Like there's one right there that's normal, and probably let it grow for like a few days. But after a few days, it doesn't take long for it to go from that to this. So you got to keep an eye on it, and I just haven't been.
I've actually said that on the channel a lot, that garden care takes a lot more time than people realize.
Yeah,
you pretty much got to be out here almost every other day.
Almost every other day. I wish I could be out here every other day. I work too much, so I'm not able to. But ideally, you're out here every other day just to trim, especially tomato plants. They grow a lot. They grow fast, and so you got to trim them as they grow to grab fruit before other things get to it. So You know, there are other creatures out here that like our fruit as well.
And the leaves too.
Yeah, our leaves. This is an example of probably a failed experiment. This is broccoli that I planted. There's the broccoli
There's
right
some
there.
broccoli in there.
But I think it's already been eaten by something.
There's
There's
one that
little
looks a little
bushes.
bit more broccoli-like.
A little more, but they're tiny and they're probably not going to be tasty, I think. So that's a little bit of a failed experiment. So yeah, so we got the zucchinis. We planted way too much zucchini this year. For a family of 6, you really only need like 2 plants if they're going to do well. We have 6 right now, so there's lots of zucchini in our house right now. This is an experiment. We did a few melons. You can see one right here. Little melon.
Nice. That's cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe melon, yeah.
One of our kids, I can't remember which kid it was. I think it was Isabel.
Yeah, she
Our
picked them
oldest
out.
daughter picked the cantaloupe.
There's a couple more over there.
Yeah.
But we're not, I mean, cantaloupe kind of needs a more of a warm season, like a longer warm season. And our warm season is pretty short in our neck of the woods. We're in, for all the gardeners out there, we're in zone 6A, 6B.
I always call it 6B, but it's kind of like, I know, we teeter back and
Between
forth.
6A and 6B. But we get snow all the way almost till like June. And then by late October, early November, it's starting to frost again. So it's not very long. But this was also another one. That's a watermelon, which is also a warm
This
area
is basically
plant.
our worm season bed.
Yeah, so they got one watermelon.
We did okra in this bed last year, which did pretty good. For some reason, we didn't do okra this year, did we?
Yeah, I didn't really want to. I had other stuff. We tried
Stupid
corn.
okra. Oh, yeah. So this is, okay, I love you, babe. But all my subscribers are going to be interested in this because little did I know until a long time ago, until not too long ago, corn, what is it?
It's a grass,
It's
apparently.
a grass.
That's what I've been told.
It's a grass. My
I don't
wife,
know if I believe that.
I have actually started researching corn because I want to grow it some more. It's a heavy nitrogen hog, kind of like grass. It is a grass. It's just grass. In fact,
Yeah.
it's similar to the buffalo grass because it has to pollinate itself by stuff falling down, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah, the stuff at the top. So usually you want to put them in clusters. That's why you see cornfields like big squares or rectangles of corn, because this is the pollen up here, and they're supposed to like go in the wind, and like the pollen falls down and pollinates the corn, the ears. We had an ear. There's one right there, tiny little ear that didn't do anything, like it's already gone.
Yeah.
Look at that. So it never got pollinated or anything. So if you open, that's a bug. If you open them up, actually I don't know if there's anything. There's my
Look
corn.
at that, it's a baby corn. In there.
Well,
There
it's
it is.
not pollinated. So when corn isn't pollinated, it's actually I guess it wasn't really ready. The silks should be dried out when it's ready. It wasn't going to get pollinated no matter what. But when it's not pollinated, the corns don't develop. So it got pollinated a tiny little bit because there's a couple kernels.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, it wasn't going to happen this year.
This whole corn patch, when we planted it in June after our last frost, literally our cats came in here and ate.
Well, they didn't eat it. They chewed it.
They chewed the top of our corn.
Kind of like,
uprooted
it
a
goes along
couple.
with it being a grass. That's what cats do as well with grass, is they kind of chew it up and they use it for their digestive system. Like it's their fiber, their source of fiber. And so that's why cats eat that, and then they throw it up sometimes, or it goes out in their poop. But
Delicious.
yeah, so I think they thought it was a grass.
Yeah.
And they chewed on it and chewed off the stalk.
Yeah.
And then the stalk had to grow all over again.
Kind of sad because we were hoping to have a good corn patch, but yeah, cats.
Cats are a nemesis in the garden, honestly, but we try to keep them out, but it's almost impossible. They're climbers, so they climb these fences anyway. But yeah, so I got those, and I've got some more tomatoes here. We've got some, what are these called?
What are those, cabbages?
Cabbage, yeah. These are my little 2 cabbages.
It's just these, not all
Just
of that.
these two,
not
yeah.
that bush over there.
So these are 2 cabbages. See the tiny cabbage inside. This one's doing a little better.
Yeah.
But we've got some caterpillars in here. Moth caterpillars.
You want me to
They
start
love
using
this
insecticides
cabbage.
around here?
No.
No, see?
I mean,
I don't use insecticides in the lawn
I
either.
hate these little guys because they eat my cabbage and they like this and they like those. That's what's eating all of that. But they're cool little treats for my chickens. Here, this is what I do. This is why the garden is next to the chicken coop. You guys, there you go. Yummy.
All of the other chickens are like, dude,
It's
there
actually
was only one?
kind of therapeutic to sit here and pick them all off and then give them to the chickens, and chickens love it.
It's kind of like hand plucking weeds out of the
hand
ground,
plucking
right?
them. That's how I deal with them. No pesticides in here at all. You know, we got little kids. I don't want pesticides on our fruits and veggies. So that's what we do. So those two. This is an experiment as well. This is yams. We had a yam or
Yeah, I think it was a sweet potato.
sweet potato.
I don't
Sweet
think it was a
potato.
yam.
I think it was a sweet potato. What's
yeah.
the difference?
And nobody knows.
Nobody knows the difference.
Gardeners don't know the difference. They just
It was
pretend.
a sweet potato that we had in our house that started sprouting. So I experimented doing the slips. I did some slips out of it, grew the roots in water, and then put them out here. I have no idea what's going to happen with them. I can't believe they've actually grown this much.
Like, this was literally one store-bought sweet
This was
potato.
and it's this, and there's a couple other little ones over there. They're not doing as good, but
Those are
yeah,
getting
it
shaded
loves
over
it.
there.
Yeah, it needs sun, so I think those have been shaded too long.
And then, of course, we got something different poking out here.
And then it's taken over right there. It's this is my little pepper bed, pepper area. So we got some shishito peppers.
These things are pretty
lots
good.
of people love. We got different kinds of peppers. I think these are serrano peppers. No, not serrano. What are they called?
Jalapenos?
No, the big ones.
Anaheim.
Anaheim. So these are all Anaheim peppers, different kinds of Anaheim peppers. I forget what. I think those are the cayenne.
Cayennes, I
peppers.
think. These are starting to turn red down here.
These are just bell peppers over here. You see some of the bell peppers. And then we got a bed of cucumbers. So a couple of variety of
Look
cucumbers.
at this. This thing goes all the way. That's 8 feet high. That's
It's climbing.
I don't know. It's probably like 7 feet high. That thing goes up.
Yeah, those things, they take up a lot of space. So it's nice to make them climb
We
sometimes.
got different cucumbers in here, too.
Mm-hmm.
The little lemons and then the more normal ones.
Lemon cucumbers and then a kind of a pickling cucumber, I think. And then we got a couple grow bags with potatoes in them.
Those are just straight up store-bought potatoes, too, that we cut up.
Yeah.
And
We tried to grow some cilantro this year and that failed. It got too hot right after I put them down, so they just bolted. So no cilantro this year, but if you let them go, you can get coriander out of them. This guy came with the house. We've left this. What are these
that's
called?
the most expensive chive plant ever.
Chives. We left these chives here because they've been good. They've grown. They love it
they're
here.
fantastic, honestly. These
We
things
got a
are
couple
incredible.
strawberry.
I always, when we moved in, I actually thought it was like a weedy grass, but
Yeah.
quickly you learn that
It kinda
it's-
looks like
it's not.
grass.
It's almost, you see how it's like hollow on the inside? Totally different. But it is a perennial, and it just comes back.
Just comes back, keeps coming back. It's really cool. It's got really nice, cute purple flowers, so I like it. We definitely don't use it as often as we probably could, but
Yeah, I feel like we cut it a lot, but
But
we
it grows. It's
never
very
even
good
come
growing.
close to using it all.
we got a couple strawberry plants. And then this, I think, was it this past year you made these side beds?
Yeah, this was about a year ago exactly. I made
Yeah.
this side bed. I made the other ones over there about a year and a half ago.
And we've got a couple flowers that haven't come up yet. I'm thinking these are like cool flowers, so they're growing much better now
Yeah,
that it's
we
not so
got-
hot.
It took a while for everything in here to
Yeah.
really establish.
And I think part of it was the soil that went in. These are what are they called?
What are these things?
Celery.
Oh, that's celery, yeah.
This is celery.
Yeah, there's the stalks down there.
Mm-hmm.
You see them?
And I've got some beans, like snap peas growing.
This is the only bed, actually, that we have to hand water.
Yeah, we don't have this on the drip system. And then we got my little white bean things in here. So these have done okay. These definitely could be, if they were doing much better, they would be a lot bigger. I built this thing ambitiously,
We also
thinking it would
built it,
climb up.
and then all of a sudden we had 102-degree
Yeah,
weather.
and then they didn't grow. So that's that. But yeah, And then I got some kale over here.
Oh yeah, the kale's good.
Kale's doing really good here.
Kale
This is a good area for
flourishes here.
kale.
In fact, this is a pretty good time of the year to plant kale.
Yeah, that's true. Kale will stay over winter. Like, depending on what kind, you can grow them over the winter. But that's it. So when we first moved here, all that was here was just those first 2 beds right there.
Full of weeds.
That's it. And Brian has built this whole thing for me, and it's been awesome. We added these 2 beds first, so it was 4 beds.
There was a tree right where you're standing.
Yeah, there used to be a tree
About
here,
5 years ago.
like a little evergreen tree that kind of was not doing great, so we just took it out. And then he built those 4 beds over there, and then this side, the most recent.
This is the saddest part of the whole thing, in my opinion. This
Why
awesome.
is it sad?
Well, it's sad because I put so much effort into building
Oh,
a compost station here, and
just know that somebody's gonna love that a lot.
yeah.
I hope.
Somebody hopefully will love this compost station a lot,
Yeah.
because we just haven't had it long enough to
For it to
really
grow.
make use of it.
But yeah, and then in our area, there's lots of deer, so that's why the high fences is to keep the deer out, and it's worked really well. Mm-hmm. Until we leave the door open.
Yeah.
Sometimes we left the door open.
Yeah, we got this fancy fence, and we still lose plants to deer
Yeah, we
because of
left the
like.
door open. In fact, a lot
we
of
just
these
forget it.
peppers that went in got halfway eaten by the deer at the beginning of the season because we left the door open. They get pretty hungry around
It's true,
here.
it's true, and we haven't harvested a single strawberry for the same exact
No,
reason.
yeah, that's true. They
Every
got
time the
eaten.
strawberries start making fruit, see here, we're just barely starting to make some more. Of course, the weather is finally turning and cooling off, but every time the fruit is almost ready, we let the deer in.
Yeah, we accidentally let the
Yes,
deer in.
human error.
That's it. That's my garden. I'm just right now, since I've neglected it for the past week, I was really busy at work, so I'm just trying to get all the fruit that's ready to get off and trim a little bit.
All right, lady.
I got a bug in my shirt.
There's a bug in your
I
shirt.
think I have a bug in my shirt.
All right, that's my lady right there. I'll let you get back to your actual gardening.
I know.
I think this might be the maiden voyage for Turf Mechanic Gardens. So
I mean, we got to build a new garden where we're going.
we have to build a whole new garden. I think this video is long. Maybe my next video I'll go into the construction process of this, because I got to start planning the construction process of the next garden, and we'll see how fast I can put it together. All right, thanks.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, a big shout out and thanks to my wife Flor for that. And for those of you who have been diligent and longtime subscribers of this channel, I hope that you will consider watching future videos about our garden and our garden process. Up here in the corner is a link to Turf Mechanic Gardens. It's going to follow the rest of our gardening adventures at our new house. So make sure to hit up that channel over there, hit the subscribe button, hit a like button at some point so that YouTube starts recommending those videos to you as well.